So I'm Andrew Booth, and I've worked with Eric Cacioppo to build our version of the Great Ball Contraption. It's been a 4-year evolution where the first time we came to Brickworld, we saw these great mechanical devices and wanted to do that in a different way by adding all of the aesthetic elements to it and tell a story. So we've got kind of a vignette, a collaboration, a mechanical, and a mock all at the same time. So we've actually built then our version of Great Ball Contraption with several unique different types of mechanics, telling the story of the orange aliens that have invaded the city, and they're turning people into orange balls and to orange fish, the other orange part we have. And then the steampunk citizens have come out to try and defend, including our army of rabid monkeys on the bridge. So starting, we have a wave here taking the ball people across into a ball pump, which works its way down into the building that's being attacked by the aliens with our lit spaceship, which is always challenging to have lights in something that moves, because that's actually wall powered instead of battery. So we actually we had to design here a disc with aluminum foil or foil tape that has contacts that are rubbing along this disc as it spins to help create that. From there, it works its way down into an Archimedes screw at the back, up into our clock tower where time is going crazy, into our flip-flop with the 2 different slides and ways down, and then back into repeating the cycle.
Okay.
And you can see the different designs. All of the steampunk figures and all of the mechanisms are named after children and family friends, with, of course, the Victoria and steampunk spin to them. But really just hoping to try and keep in mind that, at the end of the day, these things are all for the kids, and they're seeing that, all this mechanical stuff, everybody loves the monkeys. It's the number one feedback that we get from the kids that see it. So it's nice to entertain ourselves, some of the other adult fans, but the kids also have a lot to look at, and tried to capture all those different elements at the same time with this. And also, we also like to have, there's no front or back to the display. It's designed to be seen in the round. So at every point, there's details and things to see, that no matter what angle that you are at the table.
So when you were putting the display together, kind of planning it out, what was involved? Did you do a lot of sketching or just kind of delegating tasks to people? How did that work?
So it's funny, it's been a 4-year evolution. Each time we revamped it was pretty much a complete teardown, but we had an idea that we wanted it to be 96 studs wide, 2 48 by 48s, and we could work with that general framework. In there, every year, then it was a lesson learned. We started with Zamor spheres because we like the colors better. You can tell stories.
Cheaper on the aftermarket, somewhat. Maybe
they used to be. Now you can get these. Have been re-released in the friend sets. You can get these cheap now.
Okay.
So we worked with the Zamor spheres. They have a lot of challenges involved. The Great Ball Contraption guys have been a tremendous help in getting us to get these things working and answering questions, even here and then after this over the phone and in email. And then from there, it was just, we tried out, we'd see what would work. Some of the first ones, everything was like a solid building, and then we realized it needs to be modular. So this all comes apart. These are stored flat in boxes for the buildings. So it was more of a guess and check than a formalized plan, but we haven't agreed upon 48 stud wide major plate, and then we have 16 stud routing plates for all of our wires. So there are no wires that you can see in the display, but everything is routed through a wooden riser underneath. So we've got holes drilled in it, all the dials are in the back. So that's kind of our plan. We have a set place where the train tracks are going to go, how big these things are going to be, but then the idea is in future years, now that balls aren't flying all over the table, we are going to then be expanding, and we can widen this and add in other members of our club to collaborate, build other things, or even have things that we can just pick up and swap out, depending on the story we want to tell in any given show.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now you've got, along with the mechanical stuff here in the middle, you've kind of got some cool landscaping and stuff on each side. Do you find that's tougher for you than the mechanical stuff, or do you enjoy doing that part?
So actually, it suits our personalities. I have a background more on the mechanical side, so I do a lot of the mechanical and motion stuff, and Eric is actually an art teacher, and he's really good at the finesse and the aesthetic of it. So we work really well together from that aspect, bouncing ideas off each other. But we both have our strong suits that complement in trying to get this done, to be able to have it move and have it look like, I hope like some of the great mocks that are here at the show.
Playing to each other's strengths, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Are there any other small little details you'd want to point out here that people might not notice at first?
The idea is that we have lots and lots of those details. The fish, the half-melting person are some of the details that I really like. The train that's spinning around, the batteries are a little light now, but the eyes light up in there. And on the side, too, like there's a crack in the building where you can see the ball pump pushing the balls up. So I think those are the real major pieces, but everywhere you look, ideally we have detail, something else to look at to see that helps tell part of that story. I guess the one other thing I'd like to add is in the 3 previous years I've been to Brickworld, we received those minifigs, and those are hidden throughout. So we won one of those here. Some of the little giveaways some other builders have put, like the frog plane, that's in our display. The gumball machine is in here. You know, just a nod back to, because this all basically came from the help from other builders, the other fans, and the GBC people. So it's, you know, trying to play to that, and kind of a little bit of a nod to, you know, this only happens because of everybody here that's helped us, because we had no idea what we were doing when we started.
Yeah.
So when you're putting a display together like this, I often find that I, will run into like a sort of a struggle getting certain elements. Was there a particular part or series of parts that you had a really hard time sourcing?
No, because we tend to work with, we'd like to buy things. Everything can look good, but it really looks good when you have a lot of them. So we'll tend to find a part that's unique, and then that we have a lot of, and then build to that. From the mechanics standpoint, we're kind of light on motors, because some of the motors are a little harder to come by right now. They've been very popular on Lego. So if we burn out more than 2, we're going to have to beg. But for the most part, there's nothing that comes to mind that's been really hard to source. Trying to build with mostly from our collections without having to go really crazy and buy lots of stuff.
Maybe even use your collection as a creative restraint. Building within it forces you to come up with creative solutions.
Exactly. Yeah. If I've got a lot of rubber band holders, there's got to be a way that this can do something interesting. And everybody has a lot of rubber band holders.
Very true. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Thanks for taking us through that. Appreciate it.